So, in my presentation, I will study the effects of a granted asylum to a child seeking in with a guardian. An asylum seeker usually receives several decisions on refugees during the process where all the roads to appear are normally used. In Finland, the negative decision is pleaded first in the administrative court in Helsinki and later in Supreme Administrative Court. The final decision of refugee takes normally a year in average. My presentation is based on the data produced in an ethnographic fieldwork in 2 Finnish reception centers and in 1 preparatory class. The children participated in research were aged 2 to 12 years, representing 7 different nationalities. The ethnographic narrative data consists of interviews with children and adults, field notes, and fairy tales invented and told by the children themselves, as well as drawings by them. In the research, it was shown that receiving the positive or negative decision on refugee both results as several big chances in the life of child. The effects are not visible only the children actually receiving these decisions. The decisions have a great effect on the lives of all the people the children are in contact during the asylum seeking process. Because of living in the institution, it is necessary for them to remain silent about what they feel and to be careful what they speak. The decision on refugees waiting for feared and talk about both inside and outside the reception center. Even very young children seem to understand the meaning of positive and negative decision for the family as they hear others talking about it frequently. The desire to receive the positive decisions sustains hope in the mind of an asylum seeker, whereas the threat of the negative one sustains fear. These feelings, hope and fear, give the children seeking asylum the framework of their lives during the whole process, and they come up constantly in different everyday situations. The research showed that the asylum seekers reacted to the positive decision in many different ways. Some children remained silent about the whole subject, whereas some were very proud of it and wanted to tell everyone they met about it. A teacher told the following about the reaction of Abbas, a 7-year-old Albanian boy. Abbas told about it. Abbas was hugged. Abbas was very happy and proud. He didn't exactly say I'm finished, but in a way, I will have a home now. It was very important for Abbas. I will go to the Finnish school. I will move on. These kind of things are important for him. It is notable in this boy that he never seemed to voice his feelings at home in any other occasions. The group of children at the reception center took a few status of the lucky Abbas in very unfortunate way. He was excluded from the circle of friends, and the positive decision he had been given was ignored. According to the afternoon club instructions, receiving an asylum immediately weakened the position of Abbas had among the children. The Abbas was outsider. Abbas didn't have a place anymore. Okay. The move from the reception center to their own apartment meant great chance in Abbas' life, even if the transfer to a new school was postponed till the next autumn. Leaving the center meant loneliness at first. Abbas also took the different view of things that had previously been so important to him. After moving out, he was no longer interested in going to the afternoon club of the center, even when he had chance for it. His father claimed Abba's lack of motivation was because of his changed attitude towards the children still living in the center. He thought his son no longer wanted to take company. The father didn't seem to have any knowledge about the hostility of the other children had expressed it towards Abbas. Being debarred from the group by the other children was most likely the reason for Abbas not to want to go to the club anymore, or to be part of this group that had previously been so important for him. The affinity of the children still waiting for the decision of the refugees caused the otherness of Abbas, who had been given the positive decision. He was not one of them anymore. The receipt of negative decision on refugee was most visibly in the lives of 8-year-old Iraqi girl Amal and 12-year-old Mahir, as they were given their third negative decision. This usually means the end for the phase to appeal and deportation. The negative decision is often shock of the family, and it usually always followed by some psychic reaction. In the case of Amal and Mahir, it shows up the absent-mindedness as well as problems with sleeping, eating, and with school. These kind of symptoms often means depression. The ability of employees to notice the change in the child during the negative decision are important, since the depressive parent may not be able to help his or her child or to see the agony. Receiving the decision made Mahir so uneasy that the next day he couldn't be at school but ran away. His escape was immediately informed to the reception center. After an hour, however, Mahir spontaneously returned to the school. At this point, the teacher considered him too distressed to take part in the education and arranged someone to take him home. Sometimes a child must be quickly taken to the medical care. Mahir's mother thought about a visit to the mental health office after the decision, where she was accompanying her son to support him. The doctor asked Mahir, "Why are you not eating or sleeping? And why have you run away from the school?" "I tell you the same. If you have problems, you have stressed and do not know about the future. Does your work go well? Can you sleep? Can you eat?" In the occasion of the negative decision, it is important to take care of the depression so that the condition of the child doesn't deteriorate. It is often necessary to improve the means, information between the school, home, and reception center. After the few days, the teacher of the children took contact to the center in order to tell about Mahir's condition becoming worse and his problems with sleeping and eating. Mahir's condition deteriorated quickly after the third decision, for he refused to eat altogether for many days. He couldn't sleep either in nights. Both the employees and myself thought his habit to sink into his own thoughts increased. I think he was today again apathic. Apathic there in the canteen, he lay on the table. When I met the boy 10 days after receiving the decision, the child looked notably changed. I had turned to study what the children were doing. I startled when I sensed somebody had to sit down next to me. I sat on the bench in the middle of the park making notes. Mahir looked like a ghost. He had lost weight. His face was dirty, eyes were sunken, and there were dark rings under them. It had been 10 days since the decision. The receiving the decision didn't show in Amal as visibly as in Mahir. She mostly just worked to do her homework for a few days and was sometimes absent-minded. During the lunch, I sat in the same table with Saadet and Amal. Amal ate slowly and was sometimes deep in her thoughts. She laughed and smiled when I woke her up. She didn't make in time to the break with the others. It's not necessarily good for the child to be company of his or her family after receiving the negative decision. Depression, crying, and possibly self-destructive tendencies of the parent or sibling may transfer to the child, or he or she may end up the support of comforter for the member of the family. It was thought to be good for Mahir to be good together with his mother during the days after occasion. For his younger siblings, the situation was different. When I met their mother the next morning in the reception center, I promised her to walk Amal to school. Somehow it felt that it would be better for Amal to be at school. She doesn't seem as distressed as the others in the family. The atmosphere there at home is quite depressing. Above all, the receiving the execution of decision to deport were especially visible in the child and the people around him or her. The deportation of an 8-year-old Afghan girl, Tamila, didn't affect only her, but seemed to have a wide influence on all the employees who had been in contact with her, on the other inhabitants of the center, and especially on all the children who had become her friends. Witnessing the occasion of the deportation and understanding the finality of Tamila's depart caused them first mostly uneasiness and sorrow among them. The teacher and the instructors of the club were informed about the timetable of the decision to deport only a few hours before the actual execution. The teacher told me she almost always received the information about the decisions from the children themselves. The reception center doesn't not inform us. The children tell which one they have been given. We are not called up and told that this one got the positive one and this one got the negative one. This really is knowledge we get through the children, and then we may be called by ourselves. Before the decision about what has happened can be started with a particular child group of children, the information must be verified from the center. In the situation like an execution or decision to report, there is a seldom time for this. The day Tamila's deportation, 2 employees of the reception center came to collect the child half an hour before the end of the school day with no previous warning. At the situation, they told the teacher about the decision to deport she had received and the plan of the police to transport her from the country the very same day. The teacher describes the circumstances as chaotic. In a quarter of an hour, we went to eat with the girl, and then she left.